Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode of the Entertainment Cast for Buff, Debuff, Rebuff. Basically, what this cast is going to be about, anything entertainment. So, movies, video game, anything of, that kind of sorts. I'm Nick, first ever podcast, so I'm excited to do this with my co-host, Jack Scholtz from jackscholtz.com.
jackscholtz.com! All right, everybody. Just remember, visit jackscholtz.com. Striving little website. Incredible content, reviews. We got some features. Working on it.
Alright, so the first thing I think we're going to talk about, I guess it's just, what have you been playing this week, Jack? What have you been watching? What have you been doing?
Oh, dude, let me tell you what I've been playing a lot of Gears, playing some Fortnite, catching up on some challenges and stuff with the homies. Been getting a lot of dubs in Fortnite. I'll tell you what, something's happening right now. I don't know if it's the intense amounts of Adderall I've been just taking. That's a joke, but yeah, Gears is really good. I really like just hopping in and playing Horde. The campaign's incredible. Drinking that Rockstar energy to get my exclusive rewards. The servers are going all good now, so able to wall bounce and nash some people. I've just been watching The Office lately, doing a little cheeky rewatch while I wait for all the new shows to start up. And movies, just I've been watching Harry Potter like one a week, so that's been a thing. I don't know what else.
So how's the Horde mode in Gears compared to when we played it at E3?
Well, we did Escape at E3. And Escape,
okay. Well, whatever.
Escape, I'm obsessed with. I love Escape. I just love getting in there, but I hate when my team will come in and like suck. And like when you have a team where you guys all stick together and like one person starts to stray, but the other two follow, incredible. But then when you have a group that just everybody's wandering around doing their own thing and they suck and they don't do anything, and then they quit, and you're like, mother humpa. What is happening? But I have a blast, like, especially if you can have two people in there, like if I can get my buddy Jason, my buddy Kev to roll in with me, real fun to just go in. And I hope they add a lot more maps, because right now they have just like a challenge map and then they call them past hives, but I just keep doing the challenge map, and it's like I thought it was randomly generated, but it's the same thing. So you just kind of memorize a route to go. And I think there's only 4 in the game right now. And I keep getting like challenges in the game to, hey, do this in a challenge map. And I'm like, oh, can I try these other ones out? One time, my buddy Kev, he got a one that was do the past hives. And I was like, sweet, I can bounce in and do something new finally. Yeah. It's hard to do without communicating with people. But when you have a group, it's really fun.
I know when we played the demo of it, it was pretty rough because we all had no idea what we were doing.
And one of the mics was broken, so only 2 of us could talk.
Yeah,
was
like,
it you or
was
you
guys at all?
Yeah,
I think it was me. I couldn't hear you guys
Good
at all.
Lord.
Yeah, what I've been doing this past week, I guess, just Beat Control, which is a great game.
God. Yes.
Too bad it doesn't run very well on PlayStation. I mean, the PS4 Pro was fine, but if you can't handle the motion blur, it was kind of ridiculous.
Did you or do you want? I don't know. Did you want to talk about it later? All of Control or?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what I had in mind.
I'll save my questions then.
Okay. So then besides that, the occasional Octopath Traveler. That's what I've been playing. That's what I started playing when I didn't have Wi-Fi in my apartment for like 2 weeks. So I was playing that on my Switch because I had it downloaded and I hadn't tried it yet. Pretty great game. I'm still on like the first, I guess, chapter you'd call it. I guess I finished about the first part of every character's story, which is pretty cool. It's a really fun turn-based game. I'll be watching the.
Sorry. So like, you say you're in the first chapter, but how long does it take to do each of those first parts?
In the beginning, it kind of took a little bit because I only had like the one character, so fights kind of took a little bit. But now, since if I'm going to like get to like the last character, I think that's what I'm on right now. I'm in the middle of the last character's story, like the first part. But I already have 7 of the other characters, and they're all like level 15 plus, so it's gonna be a pretty easy fight from there. So it goes by pretty quick there.
So like, and when you say you're in chapter 1, are there like only like 3 chapters or something in this game? where it's
I
like
think there's three.
okay.
There's 3 chapters for each character story, but then I think there's like an overarching story that happens after you get all the characters together.
Okay, because like when you say you're in chapter 1, it's like it makes me feel like you're in the beginning of the game, but I feel like you've played a lot of that game, and so doing every single character, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think my save says I'm about 12 hours in right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a pretty decent penny in,
Yeah.
Besides that, I tried a little bit of Pokemon Masters. It's kind of a boring game. It's a gacha game, so like you have to summon to get these characters, but none of them are very good. Besides like the 5, they have them in star rankings. So like the 5-star characters, like the really OP ones, but like there's still no great characters in it. They added the event for Blue to get in it with this Pidgeot, like a week after the game came out, which kind of sucks because everyone spent their gems trying to get all the good characters that were in it at the time, and now Blue's just OP.
That sucks. Is it like, what kind of game is it? I haven't seen anything about Pokemon Masters.
It's like a 3v3 fighting game, so it's like a story stuff, and you go through it, and you have three. So your team has 3 Pokemon, and the other team has 3 Pokemon.
Are you working with 2 other players, or is it you just have 3 Pokemon yourself?
So you as a person are a character, and then there's 2 other characters with you, and they each have their own partner Pokemon, is what it is.
Oh, okay.
But you can't change the partner Pokemon, which kind of sucks, and only a specific amount of them can evolve, which is pretty annoying too.
Yeah, that's weird. A lot of
Yeah,
weird
it's
choices. I was curious about it, but then I heard not so great things. That sounds very different from what I would have expected.
Yeah, it's a weird way to take the game, I guess, in the gacha form, but I will see if they add future content and how it is by then.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess, so I've been keeping up with Bachelor in Paradise every week, you know?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so next week is the last episode.
John
Kinda
Paul
excited about
Jones? I heard he took a turn for the worse.
Dude, he's kind of crazy. Yeah, he's a psycho, I think.
Oh, God. Poor guy.
He got in a fight with Derek, and I'm a big fan of Derek, so it kind of made me upset a little bit.
I don't know who Derek is, but I'm team John Paul Jones.
Yeah, then I haven't really seen any movies lately besides like Ready or Not a couple weeks ago, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
All right.
And then like the weekly Demon Slayer episodes too. Keeping up with that. Only 3 more weeks of that, which kind of sucks. I did just start my Hero Academia rewatch to prepare for season 4 too, so I'm pretty excited about that.
How many episodes deep are you already?
It looks like you can do about 2 episodes a day starting this past Tuesday and finish it, and then do the movie the next day, and then the next day the season 4 would come out. So I'm about 8 episodes in.
Because I was thinking about picking it back up, but we'll see. I don't know, because I watched that first episode and it was fine or whatever. Still very anime. And I'm like, I don't like it when they make all their weird high pitched voices, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
Come on, man.
But like, it's a show that everybody's always talking about online, and it interests me, and you really like it, so maybe I'll get around to it eventually.
You definitely should. It's so good. I'm so excited for the new season.
All right. Anything else you've been watching or doing or?
That's about it, honestly. I did download Astral Chain for the Switch. Pretty excited to play that.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you've heard about it or not.
Yeah, the other game that came out with an astral plane.
Yeah, so I guess that's about all the stuff I've done this past week.
Dope.
So, what kind of games are we looking forward to? I know Borderlands 3 comes out tonight.
Dude, let me tell you what. We are basically 9 hours and 58 minutes. No, that's wrong. 10 hours and 2 minutes away from Borderlands 3 being released. And nobody is more juiced right now than me, because it releases at 9 here on the Pacific Coast. So I'll be able to play for freaking 6 hours before I go to bed, probably. Still got one Rockstar Energy drink from Gears with a code on it and sitting there. And you know I'm popping that bad boy way later than I reasonably should. So I can just sit there and plow some skags.
I'll be able to play at midnight tonight, which, I don't know. I have classes in the morning, which kind of sucks, but I get about 2 hours
Screw
in
classes.
before I need to go to bed. Dude, I'm thinking about it. Borderlands has me tempted. We'll see.
I love it. Who are you playing as?
I don't know yet. I'm thinking Moze or Flack.
Those are the two that have like interested me. I'm also intrigued by Amara. I like want to play, but I don't really like her design. Like, I think it's awesome that they have a super badass female siren in there, but I look at, I don't know, I just am like, I don't want to play as her. And so even Mose, I'm like, I don't really want to play as Mose, but I'm leaning towards Mose because I heard flack. I read online that it's like kind of the typical game thing where it's like some of the AI of the creatures are a little like slow. So it's like you have a skag out there, but it'll like take a second to turn and run over to an enemy. And I'm like, I want my guys to be fluid, like, like as fluid as I am. And I was reading like by the time you turn and shoot the guy, your skag's like just running over there. And it's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Oh,
but
that kind of sucks, yeah.
And then, because this is the first time a Borderlands game has come out, and I haven't like just known right away who I'm playing as. Because in the first one, I was just like, all right, I'm a soldier kind of guy, and that was when nobody knew what Borderlands was. And then the second one, Axton, was the evolution of that. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want my sentry gun still, and it looks so much more badass with all the things it could do. And now this one, I'm like, Zane's kind of like, Zane and Mose are both kind of a little bit with their like sentries and the gunner thing, but nothing is the same. And I like that because it's making me have to go and do some research and figure out really what I want to do. But I'm so excited. Oh my God.
I am so hyped for this game.
Wait, who did you play as at E3? Because you played it twice.
Yeah, I played it twice. The first time I played as Zane, I didn't really like him that much. He was kind of boring, honestly, but also we were only able to do like 2 or 3 perks. That might have been it too.
Which did you upgrade when you did him?
I think the clone,
Okay.
The Digiclone.
Because he has, I feel like, the most varied kind of upgrades where he has the clone and then he also has the like wolf.
He has the shield, right?
Like the wolf kind of like drone turrets and shields and stuff. So I think because I'm pretty sure there's 2. He has like a turret and a shield. So I feel like that's the most different that the skills get in that game.
I played Mose the second time too, which Mose was a ton of fun. I love playing her, but we didn't have to play much.
Yeah, I really wish I wish they gave us like 15 minutes to observe the skill tree when we were playing and really like choose our build, because when we played, I just rushed through. Like I rushed my upgrades and I rushed through, and I was literally the first person in our group of, what was it, like 100 people that would go at a time. I was like the first of 100 people to finish, and I was like, God damn it. I was so worried about not finishing that I just blew my load.
I really wanted, I was hoping it would be more than just the one mission they gave us, so it was actually timed, so we can actually just go and run around and play a little bit, rather than just doing the one mission.
Yeah, but I get it. They had so many people to meet there, so
it was also day one that we got in line.
Day one, like hour one, but that's what I mean. I'm excited. Doesn't hinder my excitement at all. So let's go.
Another thing we're looking forward to, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer beta.
And Charlie Intel, let me tell you what, I'm on my knees here. I am begging for a code because, God forbid, I just go on Amazon and pre-order and cancel this game. All right, I am so excited after that 2v2 mode, and then when they like. I didn't expect this. I've never been like competitive guy, but they made an announcement like, hey, in the beta we're having the 6v6 mode. We're gonna have some higher player count modes like to be revealed, and we're having our 2v2 gunfight still. And I was so happy. I was like, I just want to play more 2v2. I didn't expect that, and the alpha really switched my mind. And now this beta's coming out, and I'm like, fuck, Borderlands and this beta. Why can't the beta be during the week? You know?
I agree. I think so. For a while, you heard me just being mad at the name of Modern Warfare.
God, so stupid.
I hate that name. I think it's a dumb name. I think they can be more creative with it.
Where's your
But
K?
after playing the gunfight mode, I had so much fun playing that, which is like playing with you or playing with Ethan. Like that was just so much fun, even though we weren't very good at it, and you get killed within like 10 seconds.
And I mean, I totally agree. And the sounds and everything were just incredible. That like the way the acoustics would totally change depending on where you were and what map you were in. And I'm so like, when you say playing with Ethan, he's one of our friends that he plays on computer. I am so stoked for next weekend when it's the open beta for everybody, so we can play. I can hop on my Xbox One X. You're on PS4, and Ethan can be on PC, and I can't wait to see how that works and how that feels, because I can't imagine playing PC and console, where I feel like there's such an advantage there on PC, but I'm so curious to see how it works in this game.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll like try to do like damage reduction or something, or just maybe like mouse sway to try to aim one. I don't know how they're going to balance that at all. Maybe they won't. We'll see. How it is.
I'd be like, honestly, I'd be fine if they don't, because when I'm playing with friends, I'm just playing to kind of have fun. I feel like for the most part, but
yeah,
like the 2v2 mode, I'll probably only play with people on console unless I have a mouse and keyboard. And that was the other thing, where you can plug in a mouse and keyboard on your console, and I love that. But they didn't have a lot of customability in there. Like, I know in Fortnite, I think you can still like totally remap everything, while in Call of Duty, it's like you couldn't even change your mouse sensitivity, and that is weird. So hopefully that was just an alpha thing and they fixed it or updated it, or it's on the roadmap very early on.
That's something Ethan had troubles with too, because he would try to remap his keyboard to actually see like what the controls are, because he couldn't find the grenade button when we were playing.
There was no inversion either, and I mean that he should not be playing inverted, because he should be a normal person. Normal people don't need that, but yeah, it's weird that just wasn't there. That's such a basic thing. So we'll see. We'll see.
This beta is kind of, I don't know, to me it feels structured weird, because the PS4 pre-order beta is like the 9th or the 12th through the 13th, which is today and tomorrow, and then the open beta is like the 14th through the 16th. But then you have PC and Xbox One, the pre-order beta is the 19th through the 20th, but I think PS4 can play through that too.
Yeah, it's PS4 open beta still. Yeah,
and then all platforms open beta is the 21st to the 23rd. So there's like almost a full week of game time there. Actually, it might be more than a week that you can actually play the game if you pre-order it
on PS4.
On PS4, at least.
I mean, I think it's very weird and a little unconventional, but I do think it's very consumer friendly, where it gives these people that want to play the game as much as possible the ability to play with the pre-orders and incentivize that. But then to have the open beta, especially for all consoles, because I remember was it Black Ops 3, where it was like just PlayStation was in beta, and it's like, I think it was still open beta, but I'm like, it's really cool that they're giving everybody, and like, I feel like PC open betas don't happen that often for these big games. I think it's really cool that they are completely opening it up for those 3 days, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to play it, at least the multiplayer part of it. That's not the 2v2. I know at least by the 21st, I'll be done playing Borderlands 3. I'll have beat it by then. I can actually put some time into it.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll still probably be addicted to it like it's crack. But
oh, yeah. We'll be in like True Vault Hunter and Ultimate Vault Hunter and stuff.
For real.
So when's the actual date for Modern Warfare coming out?
The 25th of October 2019.
Yeah. So I kept telling myself I wasn't going to buy it, but I think I am going to now. But that's been the case for the last couple Call of Duties, where I just told myself I won't buy it, and then the night before I pre-order it.
Yeah, I did that with World War II. I remember it was literally the 5 minutes before the game came out, and I rushed over to my PS4. I was like doing homework, and I was like, fuck, I need this game, and I just bought it. I ran over and got it. But Black Ops 4, I was all in. Like, I wanted a campaign, but I was still like, I love Treyarch's games, and I loved that game. I know it's got a lot of controversy, but that was the most I had played a Call of Duty in years. And now this game, I mean, the instant it was announced, and like we started reading about the technology in it, and like watching Digital Foundry videos of them like breaking down everything, and they're just talking about like, holy moly, this game is like, this is the next evolution, and it finally feels different. It feels like a next generation Call of Duty of what it can be, and I just knew from the get-go I was in, so I'm juiced for this.
That's why I was really liking it, because it feels tactical. It feels like Rainbow Six Siege, because I always loved the feel of that game, but I always was bad at it because you can get two-shot and killed. So I didn't like the survivability of it, but I love the feel of it, actually being able to run around and like destructible environments and whatnot.
I totally, and like, but it still has the core kind of Call of Duty feeling, I think, which is
Yeah.
very important because it does have like all these different traits from like Rainbow Six and Battlefield, and even like the animations. I mean, the animations are so smooth, but it's just something about it. It seems more streamlined, and I can't explain it, but they nailed the feel, and hats off to Infinity Ward for that. Must have been tough.
Yeah, I agree. So now let's talk about a couple movies coming out. These are just, I picked a couple of them that I was kind of interested in myself. I don't know if you have some more you want to throw in, but first, Ad Astra. Like I thought this year was the year of, I thought it was the year of Keanu Reeves, but man, it might be the year of Brad Pitt.
Dude, I know, back-to-back movies.
This movie looks very good. Comes out next week. I'm very excited to see it. That's going to be 100% a night one see.
It's, I mean, Brad Pitt and then the rest of the cast. You have Donald Sutherland, right? Tommy Lee Jones, Liv Tyler, all just fantastic actors. Space and just, it's what it looks like one of those stories that I'm like, I don't know what's going on too much, but I can't wait to find it out. And like, I almost wish I knew even less than I do, where we just see him fall from the space elevator thing, which is dope as hell. And then has to go, and his father was on a secret mission and he has to like find him. I think that's so cool. And it's going to get kind of weird and out there. And I'm so excited for it. It reminds me of like Arrival a little bit.
I think it's going to surprise a lot of people like Interstellar did or like Arrival did.
Yeah. And I think because Interstellar, do you like it?
I really liked it when it first came out. Now I'm more like, it's good. I don't think it's incredible.
I mean,
the music, the score is
Yeah.
great. I think the acting is really good. I don't know. Some of it just feels like it's kind of thrown in and it doesn't fit together well.
I totally hear that. I still personally love the movie, but I think a Christopher Nolan movie comes with a lot more expectations and a lot more weight than I forget who's even directing this movie, which is terrible, but it's because he did something else like that I've heard is cool, but I don't think I've seen it. Let me look it up. But I think
James Gray.
What did he do? But I think that's going to play in its favor, where it is, I feel like, going to have kind of a interstellar feel, but nobody's going to go in he did The Lost City of Z, which I heard was really good. It was a movie with like Tom Holland, an Amazon thing. And I just think I agree that it's going to blow people's socks off, dude. I'm excited.
Another movie that's getting a lot of buzz right now, The Joker. Now that is killing it out there in like the awards and all the not music fest, the movie fest.
Film festivals? Movie
Yeah, that.
fest.
Movie fest.
I am so like, the feelings I've had toward this movie, I've never really felt before, because just as somebody that loves comic book and comic book movies, it's like, to get this dark of a take on the Joker, I think is really cool. And to use a popular character to, what seems like they're doing is tell a very deep character study and very scarily relevant to our modern day life. I think it's so cool. And like, because we've seen movies that kind of go here before. Everybody talks about Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. But I think this is going to be like even darker than those. And like, there was Philomenia, is that it? Polytechnique. Polytechnique is a movie about a school shooting, and it is so dark. And it was by Denis Villeneuve. I forget how to say his last name. Guy does Blade Runner and stuff. One of my favorite directors. I should know how to say his name. But it's like, that movie I just saw on like Hulu came out, and it like was incredible, but it was something that I'm like, I don't ever want to watch this again. And I think Joker is going to go for that same feeling. But the difference is, Polytechnique is a movie nobody really saw. It was an indie movie made on a budget, but it went there. This movie, and in that movie, because it's about a real school shooting, the main character, not the main character, the school shooter, when you see stuff from his point of view, he did the shooting because he hated women and girls and stuff and the way they treated him, and they didn't explore that any deeper. It was just kind of like he was very unreasonable and terrible. And I think the Joker, the way that they're going to be exploring kind of what is behind some people, like obviously this isn't going to be like, hey, this is what all terrorists are like, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see inside the head of somebody that's going to go out and commit terrible crimes. Sorry, I've been talking about it for a while.
No, it's definitely going to be interesting. I think the part of the newest trailer where he goes on the Robert De Niro show, I think that's going to be an extremely messed up scene because there's parts in the comics where it's like either knives or like gas. Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be. I think it's going to make people uncomfortable in the movie, and it's going to be great because of that.
And I like so many people are talking about how unsettling it is, and I think it's cool that Warner Brothers is letting Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix take such a iconic character as the Joker and really use him to this extent, and it will get a lot more attention than a lot of these other movies that try to explore this dark area. And I hope it works out. I could, everything I'm saying, it might just fall a little off because it's such a delicate subject, you know. And you've seen so many tweets of people, all the controversy already of people saying like it is glorifying violence in a way that we don't see that often. Like at John Wick, you know, he's just gonna go and bop shoot people and it's kind of action. While this, you're going in for a deep character story, and if it comes off as like, hey, this is why it's okay to go and murder a ton of people, it's like, that's not good, and it's something we're not going to know until the movie comes out, and that's kind of why I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for the conversation that this movie is going to incite.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this movie. I think after the first trailer, I was kind of skeptical, I guess. I don't know. They keep getting better every trailer, I think, and they keep drawing more people in that actually want to see it. They're showing that it's not the typical, at least pastime Warner Brothers DC universe movie.
I know. I think it's awesome. I like for what they're almost going that Fox route where they did Logan and Deadpool and stuff, where very separated from their main continuity. And I hope we see more of this. Doesn't all need to be this dark and everything, but if we just get like a Red Sun movie with Superman or Kingdom Come, that's the kind of stuff that I really hope we start to see out of DC now that they can't seem to get actual like MCU level continuity going. So we'll see. Yeah,
it'll definitely be interesting to see where they go after Joker, at least aside from are they still doing that Flash movie?
They just hired Andy, I'm not the guy that did it chapter 1 and 2, some Spanish last name I know I'm gonna butcher, so I'm not even gonna try. Starts with an M. He's like the 15th director to be attached to that movie. But it sounds, because a year ago it was Ezra Miller and I forget the comic writer. It wasn't Jeff Johns. It was somebody. Was it Frank Miller? I think it was Frank Miller. They were going to write their own script for the movie after Ezra Miller didn't really like the direction the directors of Game Night that were hired were going with their script. And so the fact that Ezra Miller is still attached, it sounds like they're going to be using his script. And I'm curious to see where they go with it, because he wanted to not be very light and kind of darker. And I think there's some Flash stories that really work darker, but then there's some that obviously work lighter. So I'm praying that we get that movie. Who knows how connected it will be to anything, though.
So those are the couple movies I wanted to bring up. Do you have any that you're interested in or coming out, I guess, relatively soon?
I mean, there's a million movies, but for the sake of time, I'll just mention El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie coming out on Netflix in a month. That's got me excited.
I completely forgot that was a thing.
Do you have any thoughts about it?
I think it's definitely going to be interesting where they pick it up after Breaking Bad.
I'm like, I don't want to really know. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, it was such a perfect ending to just see Jesse driving away. I don't know if I want to. I've made my own narrative in my head. I don't want to see it, but I trust Vince Gilligan. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess, here in a month.
Yeah, right.
Any TV shows you want to talk about?
Again, there's just a million things. Mr. Robot's coming out. I'm so excited for that. I might, like Game of Thrones, where I did a rewatch. I might rewatch Mr. Robot. I never rewatch TV shows because I'd always almost prefer to watch something new, but I want to get caught up on that. Watchmen's coming out. I'm freaking juiced.
I should probably watch Mr. Robot.
Yes, 100%. It's like Breaking Bad level TV, and so many people are sleeping on it. I remember when it was like at Comic-Con they showed it, and then they just put it up on YouTube, the pilot, and like everybody was freaking out about how good it was. And then I didn't start watching it until like the 9th episode was out, and then I just like binged it and then that I saw the like season finale live, and it like was incredible. I just ever since been such a big fan of it.
The only show I really wanted to talk about was My Hero Academia Season 4 coming out. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. It comes out October 12th, which I am hyped because that is a month away from today.
Dude, I feel like they've been putting out 2 seasons a year. Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. The last season came out, I want to say, summer. It might have been spring 2018.
Dang, really?
It was a while, yeah, because they usually release them in the winter, and then they said, we're going to hold off, they usually release them in the spring, and then they made us wait almost all summer until they finally announced when it was coming out. So I want to say it was like a year and a half between season 3 finale and season 4 premiere.
But it just feels like one of those shows that, like, did people not care about it for the first season?
It wasn't a big name. I think as soon as the manga was written, it was almost immediately had an anime translation to it, I guess. It was, so like not a lot of people had heard about it until it came out and people started, like recently I saw a chart comparing the manga sales for different, different mangas since like 2000, like mid 2000s, and you can watch a timeline every month as it goes through every year. And then 2016, when I think it was 2016, might have been 2015 when season 1 came out, it immediately like got on the top 10 list to like number 5, and then it grew like number 2 like to now.
So I just looked it up, and I'm not as crazy as I thought, because the English air dates, season 1 was May 5th, 2018. Season 2 was August 11th, 2018. Season 3, September 29th. March 3rd, 2019. I'm sorry. So the English air dates have all been within the last basically year and a half.
Yeah, they put them up really late.
But the Japanese stuff has been going since 2016. So you're right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so like at least for season 3, the first half of the English dub was put on Hulu, and then they waited like a couple months to put the second half on until after it was finished and subtitled.
All right. That's it's a show I know we already talked about a little bit. I'm curious about. I want to watch. We'll see if I actually end up doing it. The only problem, biggest holdback, is the Hulus, and because I have the commercials, and like, why would I do that when I can go to Amazon or Netflix and not watch commercials?
Yeah. Anyway, My Hero Academia. If you like Marvel and you like anime, watch it. It's so good. You can watch a sub or dub because they're both very good.
Always dubbed.
Moving
Always
on.
Dubbed.
Always dubbed.
Hashtag dub life.
All right, moving on. A couple of announcements or I guess news I wanted to talk about. I only had a couple I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you have more you want to add to it. Death Stranding released a new 50-minute trailer. I haven't watched it yet. I don't really know if I want to. I want to know as little about the game as I can.
Did you watch the briefing trailer that was released as well?
I read the kind of short passage Hideo wrote.
I mean, because he was definitely describing that 50-minute thing. I don't know. They also released, they called it the briefing trailer, and I watched that, and it was kind of that, I don't know if you saw like a month ago at Gamescom when they were talking about this game, and somebody was like, I don't know why he doesn't just say what it's about. This is what it's about. Did you read that?
I did read that. Yeah, he's like creating his own genre with it. It's going to be interesting to see if it actually connects with other players who are playing the game. Like it's coming off
makes
like it
bridges
is.
and strands with other players.
Yeah, so that'll be definitely be interesting to see how that all works out and what it actually means. I want to know, but I also want to know by playing through it. I just want to know like what Mads Mikkelsen's whole deal is about in it.
I 100% want to watch this video. It like I think was premiering when I was heading into bed last night. So like I saw a couple of GIFs and stuff. I might skip around. I might watch it a little bit, but I watched that briefing trailer. It's 7 minutes, and I highly recommend that because it gives you the strongest sense of like visual style and mission that the game is. And like it seems like it almost feels like, okay, there's going to be some big prologue and then there's going to be this scene, where it's like for some reason Sam, Norman Reedus' character, hates something. It's like I feel like we're going to be given that reason. We're going to play through something and it's going to be like, oh God, I understand and sympathize with this guy. And then it'll be brought in and it's like, it's just this scene at the White House where she's like, you got to go across the country. And it says, hey, these are these bad guys. This is why they kind of look like this. And it's like, it doesn't explain everything, obviously, because there's so much. But like some of the questions I have had with it where I'm like, okay, who are they? Why does this guy just have a golden mask? Like, what the heck? It's like, it just kind of sets up like, all right, these guys are over here. This is what they're doing. And this is what you got to do. And I'm like, cool. Thank you. Why hasn't this been shown earlier?
It's a Hideo game. It's going to be kind of crazy about it.
Have you ever played any of his games?
I've played the first and second Metal Gear, and I've played a little bit of the fifth one.
Okay.
I haven't played the third one, which I know is like a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, that's the only one I played like 4 hours of on my Vita. They just released it on Game Pass as well. I might try to hop it because I've always heard the third, like you can kind of hop in without any prior knowledge. And I did that Metal Gear Ground Zeroes mission that was like an hour long. But I'm excited to finally dig my teeth into a Hideo Kojima game because I just never really have, and I've always been curious.
I wish PT was still around because I would love to play that now as being like somebody who really likes horror games.
Did you see that news earlier the week?
I think I saw it was trending.
Like, because a guy went in and like did camera hacks, and it's like when you hear her behind you, the model is like actually there, and it's terrifying. I'm like, this game just like the fact that we're still learning things about this little experience is incredible.
Somebody was remaking PT in Dreams too, which is going to be super cool because you can do so much cool stuff in that game, and people are making so much cool things. Like I'd be interested in buying it just to play PT.
Selling point. It's the only way you'll be able to play it at this point if you don't have it installed. So,
some more news. This morning, PlayStation tweeted about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the new Dragon Ball Z open world game where you're playing as Goku.
Is that the one you played at E3?
Yeah, I did. I played a demo of it, got to play a mission. It was pretty cool. I like the feel of it. It's going to be a really sick game, I think. But they showed a new trailer, finally gave a release date, which is January 17th, this coming January, which will be cool. And they showed a collector's edition, which has like a cool little steelbook with Goku's, what's it called, like a gi, I guess? Like a fighting gi?
What is that?
It has like that, I think it's just like the thing you wear when you're fighting somebody, like his outfit.
Wait,
like
the whole thing? The whole getup?
No. It has like the symbol on his gi on the steelbook.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And then it has like an art book that comes with it. And like
so it's probably not too expensive.
And no, it has like a stand comes with it too.
That's cool.
Like figures and stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
I think that January release date is really hot for it. People, they chomp up these Dragon Ball games. They can't get enough of them. They're not for me. It's fine. I mean, most of the time these January releases aren't for me, but they're perfect for everybody else. Like this is when the Kingdom Hearts slot, that Dying Light slot, I
Dying Light killed it in that slot, and I think that's exactly where Dying Light 2 is going to be too. They've
already announced spring for Dying Light 2, and I'm like, oof, we'll see, boy, we'll see.
But that's the thing, because Cyberpunk's coming out in April, and you have Final Fantasy VII coming out in March.
In
so
May,
kind of crazy.
It is, but No, I think this is a very smart spot for Dragon Ball, much like I thought August was perfect for Control.
Get in before the rush. Speaking of Control, I think we're gonna move on to the game of the show. We're going to be talking about Control. So, Control action adventure game, developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by 505 Games, and you might know them because they also made the Alan Wake game, which I've never played, and I know you have played.
Oh, dude, I mean, Alan Wake was in development for so long that I remember watching that E3 trail. I think it was like 2006, like one of the first years of 360, and just being like, this game is for me, which is so weird because I'm not a big Twin Peaks guy. I've tried to watch it multiple times. I just couldn't get into it, and Alan Wake is basically like, what if Twin Peaks was a video game? So I didn't play Max Payne 1 or 2. I think they had one game before that, but it's not very well known. But like Alan Wake, and then rolling into Quantum Break, and then rolling into Control. I've just been the biggest Remedy fanboy. And yeah, Control is awesome.
Is Alan Wake backwards compatible?
It is now.
I want to get an Xbox. Oh wow! I want to get an Xbox One to play Quantum Break and Alan Wake. Then
it might be better playing it on PC though, if you get a PC, because I'm sure the graphics you can get up a little higher there, and like same with Quantum Break, because they didn't do like the 1X enhanced version of Alan Wake, which I was kind of bummed about. I wish they had, because it's such a, I mean, like Control, where it's such a visual game, and the controls in Alan Wake are just like everything about it. They make their game so unique, and they stand out, and it's like, you look at it and you can't really compare them to any other game. Like in Alan Wake, using a flashlight as your weapon, you know, it's like kind of like in Control, where you have the shielded enemies that you throw, you launch desks at to break the shields. It's like you use your flashlight to break the shields of the dark enemies in this, and then you can pop them with like one shot of a gun. And so it's just stuff like that that's so unique. And the way the environmental storytelling and the collectibles, they've been doing that for so long. And like, you could just, in Alan Wake, you sit there and watch TV shows, much like you watch Dr. Darling's stuff. It's like their games are so similar but still different to each other, but different from any other game out there, and that's why I love them.
So a little story synopsis about Control. You're playing as this woman named Jessie Faden. She's in the middle of New York, and she's brought to the Federal Bureau of Control by this kind of being that's inside her that she calls Polaris later in the game. So you get there, and then you realize something is going on in the Federal Bureau of Control, where so they take care of these items they call altered items and objects of power, which basically defy the law of physics that we know in our lives. And that's why they're called the Federal Bureau of Control, because they kind of control them and stop them from going out into the real world. And then when she gets there, she notices there's strange things going on. There's these hissing noises everywhere, and she's trying to. Her whole main reason being there is finding her brother, because her brother is there for some reason, which you don't really know until you get later in the game. Yeah, she's kind of just thrown in the middle of that.
Yeah, I like those objects of power and altered items. They're like connected to the astral plane, like different dimensions. Very interesting. You got the board in there, which is one of my favorite things.
I think the coolest thing about the board, I think, is not actually being able to understand what they're saying. You have to actually read the subtitles.
It's so cool. Well, it's like, because Jessie, she understands it, but then it's like we don't. I think it's so cool that just everything about this game is just fucking rad, with the aesthetics, and then the board just being this abstract thing that nobody really understands. And like the way that the words, it's like, is it this one or this one? And it's so cool and so fully realized that it's something that you don't see from games every day.
So the core gameplay mechanics of it are, you basically, in the very beginning, you're given this gun, which they call the service weapon, the service revolver, service gun, service weapon, yeah. And you later on find out you can change it to different forms. One, you can like charge a shot. That was kind of like a shotgun, like armor piercing and stuff like that. So that's your core, I guess, gun mechanic for the game, but then you also as you play, you get these more abilities as you discover more objects of power, and you kind of control them in quotes. So you're able to like telekinesis, pick up things and launch them at people, which they just call it launch. You're able to build a shield out of materials, which you literally just pull it out of the ground in front of you and hold it in front of you, which is also what you can do with the launch too. You literally pull things out of the ground, which is so cool for the environment.
It like the level of destructibility is like it blew my. I didn't realize I was going to be able to just pick up and throw anything when I started the game. So it's like when I just ran into an office and then like the chair fell over and then the whole desk fell apart and like the drawers came out. I was like, how is this possible? Like this seems like for the graphics to be this good and for the destructibility to be this high, insane.
I think at the very beginning of the game, when I figured out everything could be destroyed, I later ran around everywhere and using the melee just to destroy everything in the vicinity.
It's just so much fun and cool and different.
I think as you mentioned earlier, the game does a great way of world building and giving its added lore by you find these video cassettes of Dr. Darling or this puppet show that they call the Threshold Kids. And then you also find these or these audio recordings, and you also find these just files that you could. There's literally hundreds of them in the game. You go around and find them, you can read them, and they add so much lore to the objects of power, the altered world events, the altered items, the people that are in the Federal Bureau of Control, like the former Director Trench, yourself, Jesse Faden, your brother. It's a great world builder.
Did you read a lot of the like collectible documents?
I read about every one of them. Yeah,
same with me. And it's like it was just so cool to read about all of these things and then stumble into like I read about this rubber duck. Like what the hell is going on with this rubber duck? And then I just stumble into the rubber duck and I'm like, huh, I know a lot about that. And then you find like the audio recording and it's like the way that it builds up everything. While in most games you just kind of go up and interact with the rubber duck and then you'd get your collectible, you know? It's like to build out every corner of this universe was so cool.
I remember reading the file for the refrigerator and then going and finding the guy staring at the refrigerator and then coming back later and doing that mission. Like it was just insane to read about the fridge. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on with this thing, but destroyed this whole apartment building apparently.
And like learning the whole history behind the events and like the different levels where you have your altered items that are like kind of the top, they're peak and they're connected to the abstract in the hotel, and then you have the like objects of power that just have these weird things kind of around them, and then like the altered world events where it's like entire events happen that they have to go and cover up. Like it's, and the way then they connected it to Alan Wake, I didn't see any connection to Quantum Break. I know in Quantum Break, they had AWE, Altered World Events, like posted up and written on walls and stuff. But then to have it just like go back and explain things in Alan Wake, and it's been 10 years since I played Alan Wake, but to like think about it and be like, wow, that game fits in this universe so well, and to retroactively do that, most games I don't think could pull something like that off, but it's really cool.
It goes up there with the likes of games like the BioShock series where they're just so good at this world building.
100%. And just the game is so fun to play. I have minor gripes with a couple that like I just felt like I poured all of my points, upgrade points, into health, and I just felt like it didn't matter how much I was putting into health, I was still getting 2 hit every single time. Did you ever have that problem?
Yeah, so another big part of the game is these abilities where as you complete missions, you unlock these abilities. And like he mentioned, you can put some of them into your health. You can do, there's like 5 upgrades for health, energy, and then like your abilities and whatnot. But there's also these weapon mods and these personal mods that you can put on your person or your weapon that what I did most of the time was I increased the amount of health I'd gain on picking up these energy that the enemies are dropping. So I could keep full health because your health would just instantly go away when you're fighting somebody. That
was probably the biggest problem and then the weird difficulty spikes with the bosses. I don't know how much you've gone and fought them, but like I could go into like I mean, we're not doing any spoilers, right?
I was trying to stick away from spoilers, yeah, as much as we could.
Well, just there's a sequence called the Ashtray Maze, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever done in a video game. And I turned my UI off for that completely, and just soaked it in and had a blast. And like, I think I died once, but I like after I finished, I was like, I am so glad I did it this way, because it just made me feel even more badass when it's like I don't have any kind of thing. Like, I'm just looking over, like picking up a chair and tossing it across the room and jumping up and hovering, and like it just felt so much more fluid when I wasn't like constantly looking like, okay, how much do I have? It's like I would try to pick something up and it just wouldn't come. And I'd be like, all right, time to use my gun a little bit, like, bah, 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 you know? And it's like, it was just this really cool experience. And for me to be able to do that in the game, and I mean, that's kind of later in the game, but then to go and do a boss battle, and I just have to like hide behind any rock that I can find and just peek out and toss stuff and then hide, and then somehow it hits me once and I'm dead. It just didn't seem equal at all. I'm like, I feel like the bosses should be a little harder than the end of the game, but if I was breezing through the end of the game and then struggling on the bosses, there's just a difficulty spike there that I think I mean, I guess in patch they could still kind of play with it, but I think it needs to be evened out a little bit.
I agree. It was a little tough at times with some of the bosses. I haven't done any of like the in-game side bosses yet, but some of the bosses took a while, and then they'd have these added enemies too, where you'd have to try to fight them, but also stay alive and not get instantly killed by the boss or them too, because there'd be some points where they can instantly kill you too. So there were times though where I found myself just not using the shield. I think I used the shield like 3 times during the entire game.
I have to use the shield so much. I learned.
I'm sure like it'd help a lot, but I don't know. I never really used it. And I'm sure it would have helped a lot when I was trying to go pick up health or something to throw a shield on while I'm walking to it, but I just never did it.
Yeah. Once I learned that I could like jump while still shielding and stuff, like. And another thing I love about the game though is it's like you could go through the game and only have 2 abilities. It's like you have to do a side mission to go and get another ability, and I think that's so cool and different, you know? Like most games it's okay, you do this mission, you get this ability. You do this mission, you get this ability. But it was like you do the first mission to get an ability, then the second mission. In the middle of that mission, you can veer off to the left and go get another ability. You don't have to, but you're going to be missing out on some dope stuff and dope abilities if you don't do that, you know?
Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 abilities, I think, and only 3 of them are really required to continue on through the game. Like levitate, and you have to get launch, and I think you have to get shield too.
Oh, do you?
You don't have to get like whatever it is, like the mind control one or.
Oh, and I love that mind control one. No, yeah, I think you're right. Did you encounter any like bad glitching? Because then what I wanted to ask about earlier when I said I'll hold my question, because you played pre and post patch, did you notice a significant difference?
Not really, no. It didn't feel hardly different at all. This is a game that has a ridiculous amount of motion blur, so if you can't take that on, just don't even play the game.
You can turn it off now. They added that in the patch.
Oh, thank God. Too late, I already beat it.
Still got the bosses.
I imagine there'll be another graphic patch here in the future, because it didn't feel like it changed anything. It was still like I was playing last night, and it was like the frame rate just dropped completely when I was in fights.
Okay.
But most of the time playing the game, I didn't really have issues except for the motion blur. But it was just last night was like the first frame drop I ever had.
In a fight, that was the first frame drop you had?
Yeah, but there were also like 15 enemies around.
Dang,
so
I feel like I was having frames drop on my Xbox One X.
No, it played pretty well on PS4 Pro. Like, it didn't look as great as it probably could or should, but
that's fascinating.
This is a game I'd recommend probably waiting for another patch, and then also waiting for maybe like a Christmas sale.
I mean, I can't speak for how like it runs and stuff as much. Like, I was able to kind of get over it because I look and I'm like, I would go out and buy this game instantly whenever there's a break. Like, it kind of sucks now. We're in the thick of game season with Gears out, and now Borderlands is out, and now Zelda is out, and all. Like, not all of them are going to be for everyone, but I feel like every week or two there's a game that people want, And if you already miss Control, it's kind of a little bit of a bummer, but I recommend. And it's hard. Like, it's such a me game, and I'm so glad so many other people are digging it that it's hard for me to go out and recommend it, though, where I'm like, if you like weird things and these weird mysteries and just kind of figuring stuff out but not figuring out a lot, and then you have to read the lore, and it's like, if you want that experience, Control I think is a must buy. $60. Who cares? Like, you'll deal with the frame drops and everything. Like, every time you leave the pause menu, the frames drop for 10 seconds, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like this for you, but whenever I'd leave the pause menu, the screen would go black for like a split second and then load back into the game.
Oh, that didn't happen to me. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was really annoying going into the menus.
And then another issue that I had, and like it bums me because you're talking about all the different service weapon abstracts that you could get, like the shotgun and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought the shotgun, and I used that a lot. I also bought Spin, but then when I went to buy Charge, or I forget the last one, Pierce, both of those, I would try to buy it, and it would take my materials and not give me the gun.
Oh no.
So I spent probably like 120 well, I forget what they call the material, money, dollars, on these new weapons to try them out, and like to do these countermeasures to like the little challenges you can do within the game to get some more like XP and mods, and it just would suck my money. And it's like, they, in the newest patch, they're like, and we fixed this, and I'm like, okay, well, if you don't give me back 120, I'm not gonna go out, farm $50,000 and then go upgrade and then play more when I've already done kind of everything in the game other than find all the hidden zones. But hopefully, like, the photo mode, maybe I'll come back for a little bit. I wish that was in at launch, but they had announced 2 expansions, and I'm like, I am 100% in.
The cool thing about the expansion is it's going to, at least half of the later expansion has part of the Alan Wake logo in it. Alright, hey guys, we just had some internet drops where Jack got disconnected, so we had to fix that real quick. So that's the reason we cut out mid-question. So,
awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward, but it happens. So now we're just going to kind of just pick it back up and probably transition to the closing remarks, because we've been going for about over an hour now. So anyway, that's about it for Control, I think. Great game. If you like he said, weird games, it's going to be for you. I think it's definitely worth the price, be it $60 or $40 for a holiday sale, or maybe even $20 in the future.
God, we could talk about that game alone for 5 hours. I feel like it is so good. There's so much little story details, a great single player experience if that's what you are looking for, because and it's a beefy experience too. You can get like 12 to 15 hours out of it. So
originally we wanted to do a movie of the show and a television series of the show to go along with the game of the show, Control, that we just talked about, but honestly we might just cut those out now because we don't have much time left.
Yeah, I feel it. We talked a lot about movies and TV already in the kind of beginning. So
yeah, we did, didn't we? So one of the cool things I want to do at the very end of the podcast is talk about things that happened on this day in history in the past. So first, 1964, A Fistful of Dollars premiered for the first time, which was Clint Eastwood's first leading role.
Wow, 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 wow. It's a different movie, but both westerns with Clint Eastwood.
Good old spaghetti westerns, am I right?
Dude, I love spaghetti.
I don't think I've actually seen Fistful of Dollars, as much as I like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I watched it way long ago when my dad was like, you gotta watch this, and I actually listened to him back when he would tell me to watch good movies. Now he just tells me to watch garbage. But yeah, I do want to rewatch that.
All right, 1981, the Smurfs animated cartoon series first premiered in North America on this day in 1981.
Some people say it's one of the most influential series of all time. We wouldn't have anything with blue people in it, the Blue Man Group, Avatar,
yeah,
with the big blue people. I'm sure there's some other blue things out there.
I'm blue, you know the song?
Yeah, blue dabu dee dabu die. Huge Papa Smurf. He's the original daddy.
Halloween costumes?
Yeah, 100%. My roommate college wouldn't have had the nickname Smurf, so he had blue hair.
You know, my roommate, his Xbox name is Sergeant Smurfy, so
look at that.
Yeah.
Influences everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, this day in 1998, Pokemon Yellow released in Japan for the Game Boy Color. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's Japan, though.
Yeah, but
I'm American.
Pokemon Yellow, you know.
Yeah, Pokemon Yellow is OG. I love that game.
Also, 2009, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver released in Japan for Nintendo DS, which are debatably the best Pokemon games.
I don't think there's a debate. I 100% agree. Well, did that come out earlier in Japan than it did in the States?
I believe so, yeah. It's usually about like a 6-month difference.
But Sword and Shield, day and date.
Yep. Well, that's because it's downloadable too, though. So.
Suck it, Japan.
Jesus.
We caught up.
And then this last one, Jack, you're gonna like this one. 2018, Shadow of the Tomb Raider released for Xbox One and PS4.
You know I'm gonna like that one. Shadow of Tomb Raider, very underrated game this generation.
I still need to play Rise.
It's like, you know, I don't think it's making anybody's top 10 list of the generation. It probably made my top 10 of the year last year. I'd have to go back and look at some stuff. But no, yeah, great game. Fun. Camilla Luddington is awesome as Tomb Raider as always. Wish they'd taken it some other directions, but I like where they went.
Oh, see, now I'm excited to do a top 10, top 20 list of this year. Get ready for that episode, guys.
I feel like I haven't played enough games to make a top 10, but
I'm already at like 15, so
that's good.
I guess it's games I've played this year, not games that have come out this year, though.
Yeah, me too. I played a lot of games this year, just not many from this year.
I think I've watched a lot more movies this year too than I did last year. I think at this point last year, this year I've watched almost as many as I watched total last year at this point. So.
Oh dang, I'm like way down this year. I think maybe not in the overall movies watched. I've rewatched a lot of stuff at home, but not as much.
To be fair, wasn't there like a month or two you did a movie a day?
That was 2017. I did my movie a day for like a month and a half, but that wasn't even in theaters. Always.
Yeah.
Movie Pass helped a lot last year too.
Oh, dude, R.I.P. I got it for 1 month, the good Movie Pass, before I went to garbage.
Yeah. R.I.P. Good Movie Pass.
Jeez. All right, guys.
All right. Yeah.
No, keep going. Sorry.
I was gonna say, but now I live like a 10-minute walk from a movie theater again, and I got A-list, so who knows?
Yeah, A-list there has got to be like almost the same price as just one ticket, right?
Yeah, it's cheaper than a ticket a lot of times.
Jeez, that's ridiculous. I mean, if you're getting that soda popcorn, which you have to.
But I have like $150 in rewards saved up, so I'm all right. Anyway,
I think that's gonna be the closing for us. So I'm Nick. You can find me at Twitter at NickCalhoun _, Instagram Nick.Calhoun, Twitch.tv/Geralt_of_Amelia, and this has been Jack. Jack, where can they find you?
Oh, bro, you can check me out on the tweets, the Jack Scholtz. You got me over on Instagram. I'm just Jack Scholtz there. People say it's the greatest Instagram of all time.
It is the greatest Instagram of all time.
Then there's some people out there that say, but why go to Instagram when you can go to the greatest website of all time, jackscholtz.com. We're just out there. We're hankering for a Streamy Award. I don't think I can get one, but you know what? Did Nelson Mandela stop when they said he can't do something? No. So we're out here. We're going for a Streamy. Gandhi would have wanted me to get a Streamy. So, yeah.
All right, so I'll put all this stuff in the notes too. So I'll give our socials, jackscholtz.com, and the Streamy's fan nomination. So jackscholtz.com can win, even though the nominations are over. So
2020.
Yeah, 2020 got started early. So this has been Buff, Debuff, Rebuff, the first Entertainment Cast episode. So thank you guys for listening. Catch you guys later.
Bye.